Hey, it's Stephen Porter from UDA Media. During the course of the quarantine, I've been quite active on a bunch of forums, helping people learn about more video production techniques and equipment. So today I thought I'd shoot a quick video saying what is in my camera bag. So these three cases make up basically everything that I would bring on a professional shoot. On the bottom is the Blackmagic URSA Mini Pro. In the middle is my accessory kit, so my shoulder rig, follow focus, slate, SDI cables, things like that. And the top is all audio. Starting off in the main camera case, we've got, of course, the Blackmagic URSA Mini Pro. This one has a couple of things that I've added to it. So the top handle is not a part of the kit when you buy it. This was a separate component that I purchased separately, as well as the SSD recorder. So this takes 2.5-inch solid state drives. They just slot right in the back there. And this is the Blackmagic brand accessory for it. So that plugs into the two SDI ports, one in, one out, and records all of your different formats, your RAW, ProRes, everything just on that. As far as lenses go, I keep my 50mm f2 Pentax SMC series prime lens mounted on the camera. Mostly that's just because it's small and it fits in the case easily, but I also shoot on that lens quite a bit and very much like it. My other three lenses in here, this is very much a DIY solution for the storage of these lenses, but it works out really well. So I've got a Sigma 20mm f1.8, a similar Pentax SMC series 80-200 macro, and a Sigma 17-50 2.8. So my lens storage system is some 4-inch diameter ABS pipe that I've cut into the correct length to fit in this case. And then inside of those, I've glued in some foam pieces with carpet. And these are just there for some shock absorption. So when the case is rolling around, it doesn't, vibrate the lenses and mess with the autofocus or the stabilizers. And it's been really nice, actually, because they slot in very smoothly and holds them nice and secure. And I personally even think it looks pretty good. Moving on to power. I've got two V-mount batteries in here. One of them's right here. The other one is under that side handle for the camera. And the charger / power supply is right here. So this is a kit made by Indie Pro. This is a standard piece of equipment that you get when you buy the URSA Mini. And that will charge two V-mount batteries and also provide power to the camera, though not at the same time. You either charge two batteries or power the camera through the 4-pin XLR cable. So as I mentioned before, there's the side handle for the URSA Mini, and under that is my second V-mount battery. And these are both 98 watt-hour batteries. Underneath that, I've got the standard Blackmagic 12-volt power supply. So this just goes from an AC outlet, 120 volt, to the 12-volt DC over a 4-pin XLR. And the reason I pack that in addition to the charger is, as I said before, you can only do one or the other with the charger. So this way I can have the charger just doing batteries and then use this power supply for the camera itself. Down there is a second power cable, just in case I need it. That just goes from the wall into the receptacle on the transformer here. I've got a 1.5-foot XLR cable, just in case I have a shotgun mic or a wireless system I need to plug in. Lens cleaning kit. I have a case there with two SSDs in it, so I have 3 SSDs total. One stays in the camera and then 2 backups. In total, I have 2 terabytes of media, so 2 500 gig drives and one 1 terabyte drive. And behind that is my USB 3.0 SSD reader. So this is meant to be screwed together and used as sort of a permanent portable drive. I have a piece of Velcro around there, so I can just slide off the Velcro and put an SSD in, hand it off to a client to copy media, and that's been working out really well. So the second case is my accessory kit. This is the stuff that I don't need all the time, but I like to have it handy just in case. So these are things like my shoulder rig, follow focus, slate, SDI cables, things of that sort that are handy to have but are not always necessary. So starting at the top left, we've got my shoulder rig. This is all small rig components. It's got 2 carbon fiber rails in the front where I can mount my follow focus. I've got the manual follow focus right there, and also the Tilta Nucleus Nano wireless follow focus. That is currently installed on my glide cam, but I keep the kit in here, so just in case I need it for wirelessly pulling focus on a tripod or shoulder rig, I can just pack it right up and have it ready to go. In the bottom right, I've got that leather bag that has some basic tools in it, so some Allen wrenches. I always carry a Leatherman multi-tool, so I've got my pliers and screwdrivers and such on that. So the Allen wrenches are nice because a lot of the Tilta parts use Allen wrenches as well as tripods and things like that. Underneath that is my slate and whiteboard markers. I made the mistake of buying a very cheap slate and then not erasing it, so it permanently has some information from a short film I was working on through a meetup group. And so yeah, we're always shooting Leopold on roll 6 with Shane Mitchell directing it. And that's just not going to change. But it works just fine for, syncing, of course. And I have my color checker built in there. That's just gaff taped on the bottom so it swings out, and then it can fold back in. And that's the Data Color Color Checker 24. I also have a USB Type-C hub. This lets me plug in that SSD reader to my phone, and if I need to, I can upload footage to Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever it is there, or also copy onto external hard drives. Sometimes I bring some hard drives on set, and I can do backups as we're shooting. Which is really nice peace of mind, and that means I don't have to carry a laptop. And last but not least, I have another 1.5 foot XLR cable and a very, very bad lapel mic. I do not recommend it even slightly, but I ended up with it, and it's decent enough in a pinch. So it's an Movo LV4C, and I bought 5 of them for a cooking show that I was DPing and also doing sound for. And it was a very low budget show. This was really the best we could afford. And of the 5 microphones that I bought, this was the only one that actually functioned. The rest of them had terrible noise issues, and it was just a nightmare trying to work with them. So I kept the one that was good enough, returned the other 4, and I just have it as a backup now for my countrymen. So the final part of my kit is my audio bag. So inside here, I've got a Tascam DR100 Mark II portable recorder, my Countryman B3, which is the best lavalier in the world. This is a Audio-Technica AT875R short shotgun, Sony MDR V6 monitor headphones. And inside here is an ever-changing mix of power cables, XLR cables, sometimes 1/4 inch RCA. It really varies. I never really know for sure what's in there, but it's always got what I need because I just keep jamming more cables into it, and it's treated me well. I've also got my Klipsch R6 earbuds, and these have custom memory foam ear tips on them. And the reason I have these is I was shooting a Western movie, my first feature film that I ever worked on, and there were a bunch of effects they were doing with live gunfire. So I had to be able to monitor audio and save my hearing at the same time. So I had these R6s laying around. Comply makes some very high quality isolating ear tips for them. So picked up some of those, and they are excellent. And doing side-by-side tests with these versus the earplugs that the special effects crew for that film had, these were actually significantly more sound reducing than their professional grade earplugs were. So the last part of this kit for the main part of the bag that's worth mentioning is brought out the DR100 Mark II. This is just a standard, nothing special, little Mophie battery pack, USB battery. And I was frustrated trying to find a way to power this recorder for longer than the built-in batteries would allow, because it has a lithium-ion battery in the side there, and then 2 AA's in the back. And even running really high quality and loop AA's, it just didn't go for more than maybe an hour. So what I ended up doing was taking a spare USB cable, cut it off in half, and then soldered on another end of a cable from a power supply that I don't use anymore. And what that lets me do is run 5 volts directly into the charging port on the DR100. And that lets you run it basically indefinitely as long as that battery lasts. And I've had this thing rolling for 8, 9, 10 hours on set before, and it's incredible how long it lasts. So since you may be wondering why I don't just plug into the USB port, the trouble with this recorder is anytime you plug in anything to the USB port, it goes into basically becoming an SD card reader. So all of the recording functionality is dead. You can't even play back on the device. It just becomes a card reader, even when plugging in a power supply. So I had to find another way, and this has worked great. So this bag has 5 different compartments for little accessories. There's this little pouch here that I keep all my splitters and larger adapters in. So things like stereo 1/4 inch to left and right 1/4 inch adapters, splitters for having multiple sets of headphones and things like that. Those all stay up there. On the left side, I have all my small adapters. So RCA to 1/4 inch, RCA couplers, 1/4 inch couplers, things like that. 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch headphone adapters, just the smaller ones like that. The second compartment is for my accessories for the DR100. So things like my wireless remote, the little case to turn it into a wired remote, and a little tiny dead cap that just goes right on top of the directional microphones. The next pocket over holds all of my power equipment. So battery chargers, I've got those N-loop batteries I mentioned before, charger for those, some standard AA non-rechargeable batteries just as backups, and then some USB cables. So I've got an old phone charger and mini and micro USBs so I can recharge my battery bank, and also the recorder directly if I need to plug them both in the wall. And last but not least, I have all things XLR in the right side pouch. Things like my XLR to 1/4 inch transformers, microphone clips, XLR couplers, and also mounting equipment for standard microphones. So I got a microphone clip down there, a 1/4-20 to hot shoe adapter, all kinds of converters for different size threads, and ultimately what that lets me do is adapt my microphone clip to just about any kind of thread you could imagine on a film set. So, 3/8 inch, 1/4 inch, the 5/8 is the standard thread for the mic clip, cold shoe adapters, all kinds of things, GoPro mounts, everything. So that's it. That's all the stuff that I normally take with me on set. If you have any questions about what equipment I'm using, why I'm using it, why I'm not using something else, feel free to ask them. I'd love to answer your questions. Thanks for watching.